This is a good movie podcast with Katie and Joe.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of This is a Good Movie podcast. I'm Katie Hetledge.
And I'm Joe Bates.
Joe.
What? This is like our fourth time starting it. We've been all over the place so far.
They don't need to know that.
I know, but I feel like the energy, I feel like I gotta explain it right now why I'm so giggly immediately starting the episode.
I was just going to see how you're doing because you've essentially left me and Wally this week.
Oh, why?
To our own devices so that you can play what I don't even understand is like 3 versions of one game.
Well, no. See, okay, let me explain to the people.
No, you don't need to
Let me
explain.
in the 90s, there was a game called Final Fantasy VII, my favorite game of all time, and they did a remake of it.
Yeah.
Now for the new consoles.
Mm-hmm.
But the game is so big originally that they've split the game into multiple games.
Mm-hmm.
So what I've been doing is I've been playing the original and the first part of the remake in sync so I can see the differences. Yeah, to compare. And now I've started the second game that came out last week, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And let me tell you, this is like the greatest thing of my life.
How much? Okay, so based on that trajectory,
Yes.
we have what, 2 weeks left?
2 weeks left of me playing this game?
Uh-huh.
I would say that's probably reasonable, yeah.
Okay. Wally and I are on our own for the next 2 weeks.
Yep, you're on your own for the next 2 weeks.
Which does include my birthday.
Does include your birthday. So if you stop nagging me so much, maybe I can get it done before your birthday.
Great.
Otherwise, we're not having your birthday.
No, that is not very fair.
I'm sorry. Those are the rules as we've saying in the Constitution.
I don't remember that being in our vows at all.
Again, it's the Constitution, all right? It's above our vows.
Of video games.
I'm a constitutionalist. I think we all know that about me.
Name anything in the Constitution.
The Constitution named it.
You can't. You don't know the Constitution.
I know that there is 27 amendments.
Yeah, those are at the end. That's added on. That's not in the original Constitution.
Yeah, I know.
They're
so that's
changes,
part of it. Well, no, it is.
amendments.
I mean, technically, it is part of the original Constitution because it got amended into it.
No.
Wow, you don't believe in the 27 amendments. That's what I'm hearing.
I believe in them. I just don't consider them part of the original Constitution. And if you're a constitutionalist, then you believe in the Constitution as it was originally written.
With amendments that are a part of the original.
Okay.
If you guys believe in the Constitution, give us a subscribe.
Great. Anyway, so we watched The Patriot.
Yeah, 3 times.
We watched The Patriot.
And
I
pointed out, I go, that's where it says I can play my game. When Mel Gibson throws a hatchet.
And then we watched National Treasure 7 times.
Yeah. I realized we did have to kidnap the president. Which isn't too hard. You just have to have a bunch of ice cream and he just follows you.
Just leave a trail of ice cream.
Yeah, we got some hot takes here. What's a hot take start?
It's a cold take. Ice cream.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's melty.
We didn't watch The Patriot and we didn't watch National Treasure.
What did we watch?
We watched a film that
You recommended.
Recommended.
I have to stress that highly.
Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates.
Yep.
Yeah, so, classic star vehicle for...
I mean, there are a lot of stars in this.
Yeah, it's Zach Effron, Adam Devine, 2016 comedy, just straight up comedy. What did you think it was going to be before you watched it? You hadn't ever seen it.
Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates.
Had you even heard of this movie?
No. Well, no.
Not that long ago.
I've not even heard
years.
of this movie. So it came out 8 years. Before we get into what I thought what's the budget and box office for this movie?
Okay. Yeah, I can tell you that. Well, I have a question. Do you think the budget for this movie was more or less than Madam Web?
Less.
And that budget was $80 million.
Yeah, I think it's definitely less than 80. If this movie was more than $80 million, I will quit the podcast.
But was this better than Madam Web? Well,
was this better than Madam Web? I will never watch this movie again, and I can see me watching Madam Web again.
All right, fair enough. Okay, so the budget for this was $33 million.
33.
Yep.
It's a higher number than I anticipated.
There's a lot of people in this.
Yeah, but they're not like big stars at this point. So, okay, what's the box office for this?
77 million.
I can't believe this made money. That's crazy.
It did. It by our standards of what is it like? You have to double the budget. It was successful.
It made money.
So there you go.
I originally thought this movie before seeing it was going to be that there's these guys, Mike and Dave.
Yes.
Who were the characters that I knew, Zach Effron and Adam Devine.
Correct.
They need to find dates to go to their ex's weddings, and it spirals with a montage of them dating more and more insane women. And they had some friends helping them find women, but the friends were the women they were looking for the whole time. Yeah,
that sounds like actually a pretty decent film that you have come up with. I would watch it. I would watch that. That's not what this film is, though. We've got Mike and Dave, who are brothers.
Yes.
And their little sister's getting married, and they have a history of just getting a bit like out of hand at family gatherings. They get into a bit of shenanigans. So the family says you can only come to your sister's wedding if you bring dates, and they have to be like nice girls.
Terrible plan. Like I don't understand this plan at all.
What do you mean?
These kids apparently have these two people apparently have like terrible ADHD.
Yeah, they do seem to.
Two women aren't gonna help them focus that they just met. They don't really have any relation to.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I guess the family thinks that if they just have one person that they're supposed to be like with the whole time, then they can't get into too much trouble, because both of them will kind of be focused on their separate dates, and they, instead of riling each other up.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that they rile each other up is the thing, but we only see that when they're told they do it.
Well, there's a montage.
Yeah, but there's a montage of them doing crazy shit, not them riling each other up.
Then they scream at each other about not being riled up,
yes,
and that shows that they're being riled up.
That's what I'm saying. It's the only time.
I think they give enough backstory, okay. And I like how they do in the kind of opening. They show this montage of like Mike and Dave at various parties, being cool. Really fun, cool. There's fireworks. They're doing flips on a trampoline. They're leading, a conga line. Like, they are a good time. They are party, fun boys. Then the family shows their home video version of essentially the same montage. It's the same events, but it shows the disasters that happen, where now people are falling off the trampoline and getting hurt. They're shooting fireworks at other people. Things are catching on fire.
They beat up an old man.
Grandpa is like having a heart attack. And so I did like that juxtaposition.
I enjoyed that, and I enjoyed the reveal quickly. Mm-hmm. To be like, this is just not what it was, kind of thing.
Yes. Yeah.
It was playing a song that was just 10 years ago type of music. That was just, the song is about partying, and that's all the song is about.
Yeah.
And it's like, party never ends, we never die. Mm-hmm. As an older man, I'm like, we die song.
That was definitely the music of the time, because this came out right like after I graduated college, like a year later.
Was a band.
Yeah, that's what everyone was listening to, for sure. You just needed music like for events.
That's terrible.
Like you just needed event music.
Yeah, I think that is the worst period of music for me personally.
Okay.
The Pitbull era.
Yes, the Pitbull era. But that same era brought us Kesha. So, I love her.
Yes, I know you love her. You love her so much that when I tell people you love her, you get mad at me for telling people about it.
Yeah, because how you do it is is not right because what you do is you tell people that Kesha is my favorite artist, or you tell people that Timber is my favorite song. And neither of those things is true. I just like them, and I do like Timber.
Yeah.
But it's not my favorite. And then what is worse is you say that and then you ask people to play it for
I
me.
don't ask people to play. People play it.
But that is a lot of pressure now on me because I'm excited about this song playing. Nobody else is. So now I have to be like presenting this persona of I am so excited that they are playing this song because you told them I would be, and I can't make them feel dumb. So now I have to like go all in on this song, but nobody else is doing that. And it's very uncomfortable for me. I don't appreciate that.
This happened once. Honestly, this happened once, but it was on a boat in Greece.
So uncomfortable.
It was so weird.
It was so uncomfortable.
It was so funny.
It was not funny.
Just this person dancing while people stared at her at the timber on a boat. Oh my gosh, that was a good one. We watched the intro of this movie twice, by the way.
Yes, because, okay, so here's the thing. I know we would like for people to watch the movies that we talk about because supposedly we think they're good movies, and then the episodes make a lot more sense. I can't really in good conscience like recommend this again to people. It's whatever.
Really giving away the end of the show.
Don't watch it with your kids. But yeah, so we start watching it on like Freeform had it on YouTube. No, I think it was Freeform.
Oh, Freeform.
Yeah.
There's so many frees.
So we were watching that version, and all of a sudden I go, nope. They
dubbed like hogwash.
They dubbed that. I was like, they just dubbed a made up swear word over an actual swear word. And we're like 10 minutes. No, not even like 7 minutes into the film.
Yeah, I wrote 7 minutes of the film like this is like Disney making an R-rated comedy for parents that they would approve.
No, because I know what else happens in this movie, and I did forget some of it, but if I had remembered all of it, I would have maybe even noticed sooner. I was like, we're watching a clean version.
Yeah. There would have been there's a whole scene that just wouldn't be in the movie.
Possibly 2 scenes, maybe 3. I don't know. There would have been definitely. This is a different film if you are watching
2 scenes.
the edited version. So then I was like, we need to find the actual version because there's no way that an edited version of this is good.
This movie...
So we had to end up watching it, I think, on Amazon, and we had to actually like rent it or something. So not great.
I would say I changed on this movie because I'm like, all right, the intro is good. I got to give this movie more credit. I never heard of it. No, I never heard of a comedy. That's not a good sign.
Yeah.
I wrote, this is Wish.com Wedding Crashers. Is what it is.
Yeah.
And that's not good. I think I'm sick of Adam Devine.
Oh, sure. But at this point, people weren't sick of him.
No, I get that. But now I've seen Adam Devine be the same person in literally everything he does.
Because this is post Pitch Perfect, where he really blew up. Anna Kendrick also is in that. But this is pre Righteous Gemstones.
Yeah, but this is pre his appearance on Modern Family.
Yeah, I think
Workaholics has been going on.
Yes, but that's fair. Yes, that was popular, but that's Comedy Central popular, so it's not totally mainstream.
I'm sick of Adam Devine doing millennial talk.
But this is the era.
That's his only shtick he has.
Yeah.
Is just doing this I'm gonna say something cool, but I'm so white that it sounds terrible, but I'm selling it, and I'm I just was over it.
I think I don't want to blame him too much for that, because I think what was happening is that is just very of the time, and he was really leaning into what was working for him. He's really leaning into what was getting him work.
This is a movie.
So it makes sense.
This movie, and maybe you can speak to it. It felt like there was a lot of improv of them for a couple characters.
Yeah, yeah, there is. I think there was a lot of improv, and there's like bloopers kind of at the end of them doing additional riffs on certain jokes. And I think that watching the bloopers, you realize they really did take the funniest parts of the improv and put them in the movie. Unfortunately, that's good and bad for some of it. Okay, so this is based on a true story.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a 2013 story of there's a real Mike and Dave Stengel. They really put out a Craigslist ad for dates to a wedding. The wedding was not going to be in Hawaii. It was going to be in Saratoga, New York, upstate New York.
That explains the Wendy Williams stuff.
They were genuinely on, I think, the Today Show. So it did go viral. They had like 6,000 responses to their ad, which makes sense if it was for Hawaii. Doesn't make quite as much sense to me for Saratoga.
But you love their big bottles of water.
I love Saratoga Springs water.
One time, Katie and I were at a movie theater, and she was like, "I want water." And
because we walked there, and it was really hot out, so we were really thirsty.
And I was like, "Yeah, we'll just ask for water." And she goes, "But on the menu, it has a bottle of water."
So I thought that was our only option for water.
And I was like, "Every place has water. It's like the law."
I just assumed that if they have bottled water on the menu, it means they will only give that to us. They won't give us the free water.
So we got Saratoga bottled water, this huge, looks like a wine bottle of water. And next to us were people just drinking regular ass tap water. And we looked like we had money.
Yeah, because it was also like $8.
It was crazy. I was like, what are we doing? And I'm about to watch a movie, so I can't be that upset because I don't want to ruin the movie. But I'm just sitting there fuming with this bottle of water.
Except I think the movie we watched was Where the Crawdads Sing.
Oh my!
So I think you were upset by the movie as well because you did not enjoy that one.
Where the Crawdads Sing is a bonkers
That's
movie.
the one they call the Marsh Girl.
That's that one.
What?
It's this old man pointing at... Who was the lady in that?
Daisy Edgar Jones.
Daisy Edgar Jones. Wish list Dakota Johnson.
No, Daisy is famous. She's on the up and up, okay?
The one they call the Marsh Girl?
She's doing very well for herself. Anyway.
Saratoga, New York.
Saratoga. And yeah, I think that's then kind of where the real story ends. It's really just the premise. But so this happens. They had a friend, the real people had a friend who was at like some talent agency or something who was like, you should sell the rights to this story. So they ended up writing a book about, like, they got book rights. They did a book deal, wrote a book, and then also sold the film rights to their story too. So they just like made a bunch of money off of this, which is pretty entrepreneurial. Good for them.
Crazy. It's just like, to me, and what I hated about the movie is just two white guys who have rich parents that just everything works out for them.
Yeah, there isn't that much conflict in the movie, or not that much like believable conflict.
No, the only conflict in the movie is like this guy going, "I earned you." Like, that's the only conflict. This Adam Devine upset with Aubrey Plaza. We'll get into the detail of these other characters that came in, but the big conflict in this movie is Adam Devine being upset a girl doesn't like him.
Yes.
And that's it. That's the only conflict.
Well, there's also the wedding.
Yeah, there is the wedding.
But if the wedding is going to get messed up or not because of their shenanigans.
But it's all caused by this one man boy.
Yeah. So we get a sense of Mike and Dave, and then they go through the dating, like the montage, trying to find these dates, and they ultimately do find two dates, played by Aubrey Plaza and Anna Kendrick. Who are there's an interesting duo and an interesting choice for these two actors as well.
They look like they would never be friends in real life. And also, Anna Kendrick doesn't look like a real person because her wig is insane.
Her wig was crazy. And I don't understand why she had to wear that wig. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Because there's no like real transformation. They just take away bangs eventually.
It's not part of her character.
If anything, it takes away from her character.
Yeah.
Because it makes her look like she's not like the trash girl she's trying to be.
Yeah, so Aubrey Plaza also is wearing a wig originally in this movie, and it's got like, blue highlights.
And that's
stuff.
fine. Like, that makes sense.
But then when they clean up so they're like, they come across as basically trash people. Like, they are drunk all the time. They're on table. Like, they're unemployed. They're not like doing well.
Yeah.
And they don't. Anna Kendrick was like left at the altar. Like, she's not handling that well. So that's the situation they're in. They see the Wendy Williams piece. They're like, free trip to Hawaii. Let's go. And they decide, oh, we have to be nice girls. So they like put on some pastel dresses and get haircuts and then run into, setup. So they run into Mike and Dave.
One of the other moments I did like is that their setup is Aubrey Plaza throwing herself in front of a car.
Yeah, that was funny.
And I was like, that's good. That's a solid little start.
But so Aubrey Plaza gets a haircut and then is in her her actual hair the rest of the film. And I was really hoping that would happen for Anna Kendrick too. And in my memory, I was like, I know she wears this wig the whole time, but God, I can't watch this the whole time. But we did have to because it stayed on the whole time. So.
I just don't understand that choice. And it must be, my only guess is that they gave her the wig and she goes, I look so terrible in this. Mm-hmm. That's probably what we should go with.
Maybe. I don't know. It's just such a bummer because it's hard to I think it hinders her performance. And she actually, I do think Anna Kendrick is pretty good in this movie. It's an interesting character for her. She has some of the funnier lines and delivery. Mm-hmm. But I think that if she didn't have the wig on, she would be even better.
Yeah, I mean, we agree on the wig. The wig is bad. Okay.
So we've got this foursome headed to Hawaii. So at this point, we've haven't even really talked about Zach Effron at all.
At this point, the movie seems like it's about Mike and Dave.
Yes.
Then they go to Hawaii, which is 23 minutes into this film, which blew my mind. I didn't realize this film would be mostly the wedding. I thought this film would be them falling apart, finding women, and it gets crazier and crazier, and then they get to the wedding.
No, the wedding is most of it. They filmed this entire movie in Hawaii. They didn't film any of it in New York.
That makes sense. That's probably the producers let's just go to Hawaii. It's just an easy Hawaii trip.
I think what this movie ultimately is just a bunch of hot actors wanted to hang out in Hawaii.
And Adam Devine.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm going to go on a tangent here. This is why I hate Adam Devine.
Okay.
Because there's Adam Levine and Adam Lambert. It's too many Adams with kind of weird, all in the same family names.
I am always second guessing if I'm saying his name correctly or not.
And so I'm I say Adam Devine, and I have to say it confidently, and then I'm man, I could have messed up here.
I think it's right, because I think it is not the same it's not Adam Devine.
No, it's not, it's Adam Devine because it's more, that sounds funnier than Adam Devine.
Yeah. Adam Devine did say he worked out a lot for this role to kind of try and get in better shape because he's playing Zach Efron's brother, and he was we need to kind of look like brothers. So he worked out a lot, and then he said he thinks Zach Efron kind of scaled back his own working out to look a little bit more normal.
Well, we know what Zach Efron can look like when he's fully working out.
The Iron Claw. Yeah, and that's also on steroids for sure.
Yeah, HGH.
Is whatever. I don't know anything. So.
Okay, well, HGH is at least healthier than steroids, but it is all the same. It just kind of makes you look like a Hulk.
Yeah, it's a bit much. I think Zach Effron looks great in this movie.
Yeah, I think he looks fine in this movie, but I don't think he has comedy chops. I did not really think anything he did was that funny, except when he exaggerated going off Adam Devine.
Zach Effron was in 3 comedies in 2016.
Wow.
Yes. He was in this one. He was in the Neighbors. I think it was Neighbors 2 actually came out.
Because
not Neighbors 1. But
Neighbors 1 was Dave Franco.
Yeah. Well, and Zach Effron, yeah.
Oh, Zach Effron was in Neighbors 1 as well?
Uh-huh.
And Neighbors 2. Okay, Neighbors 2 was the same year. I gotcha.
And Bad Grandpa with Robert De Niro and Aubrey Plaza is in that one as well.
Are those good movies?
So I haven't seen Bad Grandpa. I don't think that was
I haven't heard anyone say anything about Bad Grandpa ever. So that's not good.
Yeah. I like the Neighbors movies.
Yeah, I've heard Neighbors 1 is pretty fun.
I haven't seen Neighbors 2 as much,
but is Zach Effron funny in it?
I think he is, but he's funny because he plays it straight. Like it's funnier when you are just playing it I think that is kind of where this movie messes up, is everyone is trying to land the joke, and as we know from our improv backgrounds, anyone trying to be funny is not funny.
Yeah, when I wrote, like, I just feel like everything is just enough off that I can't get past it. Mm-hmm. And there's like weird dubbing sometimes.
Yeah.
That's like, it just felt like nobody cared about the product of the movie. It was just kind of haphazardly thrown together. They're getting drunk in Hawaii. And they're like, well, these people are so funny, Aubrey Plaza and Adam Devine and Anna Kendrick, that they can just carry the film without any work. And the only people working in this movie, I think, that's actually working, is someone we haven't mentioned yet, is the sister. The bride is putting in a ton of work in this movie.
She's very funny. Yeah.
And she's nobody.
She's not nobody. She's Canadian, but...
What kind of sentence is that? She's not nobody. She's just Canadian.
No, as in she is on things in Canada.
I was like, she's not nobody. She's just one of those Canadian people. And we know how we feel about that.
What I'll say is, I think that Zach Effron, I think Adam Devine, and I think Aubrey Plaza in this movie are all obviously trying to be funny. And that's why, more often than not, their jokes ultimately don't work as well as they could. I think that Anna Kendrick is good at not trying to be funny. She just is playing this character, and this character is ridiculous. And because she plays it authentically, it works out. Yeah. And I think the moments where Zach Efron is with her are okay. Like, the two of them together are kind of funny. They have a good balance. Adam Devine and Aubrey Plaza, when they're together, it's just them one-upping each other, and that doesn't quite work. And then I think that all of the kind of the supporting cast is also good. For the most part, they're not trying too hard either. But I think the supporting cast is also doing a good job. They're not trying. There isn't that same like desperation. They just are playing their characters, and it's mostly successful.
There is one character, the cousin is like over too much.
Like, and that could be a result of the people that the cousin Terry interacts with the most in this film are Adam Devine and Aubrey Plaza. And in both of that, like, all of those interactions are also very like adversarial. Mm-hmm. So I think that was just not a good like recipe there.
Even when she's doing the speech or like talking to other people, how great, it's just like a weird character to put in there that honestly adds nothing to the film.
Yeah.
And I guess they're just like, we need one more thing. And I was like, you know what, one more thing could have been good is any more build up for these relationships or Anna Kendrick's and Aubrey Plaza's characters. Or maybe, hey, why did the guy leave Anna Kendrick? Maybe just say that one small thing outside this weird actor that's terrible. Just saying, I'm gone, bye.
Yeah, we definitely could. I wonder if it's that, you brought up earlier, like, in the beginning, it does seem like Mike and Dave are the main characters. Halfway into the movie, suddenly we have 4 main characters, and that is tough. Really, they should have either focused on just the guys, or focus on just the girls, or choose one of the couples. Like, just focus on, have Anna Kendrick and Zach Efron be the main characters, and have Adam Devine and Aubrey Plaza the support, the quirky best friend. Like, that is a successful rom-com strategy, and they did not do that here, and I think that threw everything off.
This is a wild card.
Okay.
This is what I think the movie should have been.
Okay.
The movie should have been about the sister and her husband,
Sam Richardson, our favorite,
with these crazy people like slowly ruining their wedding.
I mean, it could have been, but then you're not getting these actors for it. That's a very different movie.
Yeah, I understand it's a very different movie, but I feel like, because three-quarters of the way in the movie, now we have 6 main characters.
Because now we're getting closer to the wedding, so we have the sister, what's her name? Jeannie? Yeah.
Jeannie, yeah. Jeannie Beanie Weenie.
Jeannie Beanie Weenie. And then her
husband, Eric?
Is that his name, Eric? I mean, it's
a boring name.
Sam Richardson. So now they're playing bigger roles because we're getting closer to the wedding. That you can see the stress of all these shenanigans that are happening around them, from an ATV accident to the spa stuff. It's starting to weigh on them. And so now the wedding is in a little bit of trouble. There's too many main characters.
You know who I liked? The wedding goes awry, and there's a lot of stuff going on with the wedding itself. But, I know I mentioned it, but Anna Kendrick was left at the altar at her wedding, so she hates weddings, so she's getting triggered constantly.
She keeps, like, having kind of panic attacks.
And PTSD. But you know who I thought did a good job was the maid of honor.
Mary Holland.
It's Mary Holland.
I mean, I am, like, pretty sure, but now I'm nervous.
She was very funny in a limited role and didn't overstep anything. You knew what her character was. You got the comedy that was coming from her. And you're like, this is good.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
there's a lot of good role player stuff. The massage scene with Kumail Nanjiani is insane.
It's very crazy, yeah.
And when it was happening, I was like, this is the only thing I think about this movie, is none of the main characters. It's the bride and Kumail Nanjiani naked doing a massage in the weirdest way possible. And I will forever think about Kumail Nanjiani on a ribbon or whatever that thing is called. Yeah, he's like a
ribbon swing.
Going over it upside down, and they're hitting their asses together. And you just see ass bend. Like, it's crazy.
So their butts are really touching in that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, in the filming, that isn't fake.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
That's real butt movement. In case you were
like, there has to be a way that this is like digital or something.
No,
it is not.
No, that one I knew for real. Butts were getting butts.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Do you have anything about them talking about that scene at all?
Yeah, so the
basically this happens because Anna Kendrick wants this girl to have an orgasm to prepare for the wedding,
so that she can calm down. She's very stressed.
Yeah.
And because she got hit in the face with an ATV.
Yeah.
Because Anna Kendrick and Aubrey Plaza were very good at ATV driving, and they
nonsense scene
kind of egged the boys on. Adam Devine, of course, like can't back down from something, so he's like, "Sure, I'll make this crazy jump." Has no idea what he's doing, and he hits his sister in the face, and her face is very messed up.
It's insane.
She also, so two things about her, and I'm trying to find her name because her name is like Sugar, but okay, Sugar Lynn Beard is her name.
That's a terrible name.
Oh, that's her name. And so Sugar Lynn, one, thought it would be funny to do a prank where she walked through, they're staying at like a resort while where they're filming. She thought it would be funny to just walk through the resort with that makeup on. And everyone was like so freaked out. People were like coming up to her, like trying to get her to a doctor, trying to like call 911, all this stuff. And then she had to have a talking to from the producers. We're like, don't do that anymore. But she thought that was funny. And then she also has talked about the massage scene, but she was like, Kumail was so respectful, and I just wanted it to be like really funny, and I was like laughing so hard the whole time. It was hilarious, and I was like, whatever. And he, is wearing stuff to block things from touching, but she was like, we were there for so long, I just was like, I don't care, just like whatever. And he's like, no. Like, he was being very like, no, we're doing this above board and all that. And she was just like, whatever. And she's like, it's good that I was like, her character is kind of like convulsing. And she's like, I truly was laughing so hard that like it just kind of worked for that too. So anyway,
I mean, that scene is insane, and it's long.
Yeah, it's too long. Yeah. It's too long, and it's upsetting. And yeah, again, I can't. This movie is slightly different from what I remembered.
Yeah.
So just take every recommendation from now on with a grain of salt, I guess.
In let's go through each 4 characters and what their arc is.
Okay.
So Anna Kendrick, easiest arc of the bunch.
Yeah.
Getting over being left at the altar, finding a good guy, and realizing, oh, I can be better than I am.
Yes.
That arc makes sense.
It makes sense. She also is, seems to be a good friend, trying to help out the bride.
Yeah.
At one point, she tries to help her again by giving her drugs.
Yeah, and that turns out awry.
That doesn't go well. They free a bunch of horses, but I will say that scene is very funny to me. So
I do like them going, the horses need to be free. But then, what is the line Anna Kendrick says? I can't keep wearing a horse.
Yeah, so Zach Effron shows up. He's like, "What are you doing?" They're both naked. Because they're on drugs. They want to be free. They freed the horses. And Anna Kendrick does use a body double for this, by the way. I don't think Sugar did, but she's standing behind.
Sugar doesn't seem to care much about what's going on.
So Anna Kendrick is now standing behind a horse.
Sugarlyn Beard is the Ken Jeong of Canada.
I don't know. But she is standing behind a horse, covering herself up with the horse's mane. And Zach Efron is like, I think we need to go. We need to leave this place. And she's like, I need clothes because I can't keep wearing this horse. And that made me laugh so much.
Yeah, that's a good line.
It's a good line.
I thought that was pretty solid. So let's talk about Zach Efron's arc.
He works with his brother. Mm-hmm. He seems to have, they allude to him having his head on his shoulders a little bit more than Adam Devine
Mainly
does.
because he's more attractive. That's literally the only reason they think he has it together.
Well, the dad says,
yeah,
that his brother's the one who really goes crazy, but they can't, Mm-hmm. His whole thing is that he wants to draw, but they only show us 3 of his drawings ever.
And they're racist.
One is, yeah. But he's drawing characters based on different types of alcohol because they sell alcohol too. They're liquor salesmen. But then he's like, I want to stop doing this job and instead I just want to draw. But they don't ever talk about does he have any training? Does he have any sort of arts education or background?
What does he actually want to do? Because all he's drawn
does he want to work
is
in
liquor bottles.
Advertising, graphic design? We have no idea, and it never at any point concludes.
There's no resolution. He just says, I'm gonna draw now.
Yeah, and that, we're being very serious. That is the line. He's like, I want to draw. That's it. We don't know what that job is going to look like. What is his plan? We have no idea.
And so that's his arc.
Yeah, that's his arc.
He draws.
He draws, and I think is together with Anna Kendrick at the end.
Yeah, they don't really even show that either.
They just show them making out, but we don't know.
What is Aubrey Plaza's arc in this?
No clue. Well,
I think there is a little bit of an arc.
There is a bit of an arc. So, like we said, they are kind of both a mess at the beginning. They continue to be a mess. Selfish people doing selfish things, not caring about the consequences for others based on their actions. And at the end, they do say, to each other, they're like, I think that we keep telling each other that we're great and awesome and that it's never our fault when bad things happen, but that might not be right. And maybe actually we're not awesome all the time and we do need to take some responsibility. So they do that, and then she's working with Adam Devine at the liquor thing.
That's it. But she doesn't really change, and then she goes, well, maybe we aren't great.
Yeah.
And that's her. But there is something of an arc.
There is something.
Now, lastly, Adam Devine. What is his character arc through this movie? Because it's tough to do when there are no scripted lines for you, and you're just improvising the entire time.
I mean, the brothers also, at the same time, are having a separate conversation where they realize they messed things up for their sister.
Yes.
They need to make that right. And so they do try to, because the wedding has been called off at that point. Mm-hmm. Because everyone is a mess. So then they go to the sister and fiance and they're like, no, you two should still get married. We'll make everything happen. We'll save the wedding. And they do. I don't think he learns really anything.
He doesn't learn anything. He gets the girl after whining that she's not with him. Then
I don't think he does get the girl.
Oh, they just have a night.
I think, yeah, she agrees to work with him and then is kind of like, wink, wink, maybe something will happen. You do see them hooking up, but I don't think it's like a relationship is coming from that.
I don't think it's a relationship hookup.
No. Honestly, okay, I know this is crazy. I would watch a sequel.
That's insane.
I would watch a sequel if this is what it was.
If there was good writers?
Sure.
There was a plot?
If it was focused on now Zach Efron and Anna Kendrick are getting married, and so it's their wedding.
Yeah.
And if we can see that really they are the main characters and these other two become more sidekick characters, I think there's something there.
That would have been a better movie.
Again, you have to, it's important in a rom-com, and this is more com than rom on the spectrum that we have talked about.
There's literally no rom.
Yes, there is.
They talk about rom, but there is no like build-up of the Zach Efron Anna Kendrick relationship. She just thinks he's cute and he's in.
Okay, I just said this is more com than rom on the rom-com spectrum.
I understand that. I'm just saying there's like very little rom.
Yes. I don't know why you're arguing with me when what I'm saying is correct.
All right.
But in a rom-com, or even a com with very little rom, you need two main characters and you need them to have quirky best friends. That is how it works. That is how it always has worked. And we don't need to fix what isn't broken.
The movie is the quirky best friends are the main characters.
Yeah, which is a direction you can go. But then you have to, again, it's all about the power dynamics here. You need a balance, and there is no balance in this movie.
I think these four aren't charming enough as these characters that make up for how cheap this movie looks. Outside Aubrey Plaza, who doesn't have much of an arc, but I do think Aubrey Plaza has like charisma every time she's doing stuff in this movie.
Yeah, they all have like some moments, but it's just very inconsistent.
Yeah.
The comedy's inconsistent. They don't, a lot of the jokes in this, I think there are some good jokes, but like they don't have any time. Like there's a good funny line and then it's instantly moving on.
Yeah,
so
I said
you don't
that
have time for like the jokes to breathe, and then they just are forgotten. So that doesn't really work.
I go, in this movie, Katie's love of Zach Efron is doing so much heavy lifting.
It's why I picked it. I do love him.
I know.
At some point, we will watch more movies of his. Charlie St. Cloud on the horizon. 17 again. It's coming. Okay? But unfortunately, we did start with this one, and that's just how it is.
And I wanted to mention, they don't do a good job of Adam Devine being a crazy dude for Aubrey Plaza to match. He's been a whiny boy the whole time. No one should be cheering for Adam Devine. He's earned nothing.
Yeah.
And I wonder, now that you told me this is based off a true story in the book, did they have a thing where they're like, oh, we thought the girls would stay with us, but they wanted to stay together, so we got our own hotel room? Because that is insane.
I don't know about that because I haven't read the book.
The book's got to be an easy read.
I'm not reading it.
No, but the book's probably about like their rise to fame, not really about the actual date itself.
Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, they show up in Hawaii. They have 2 hotel rooms, and Adam Devine is like, I thought the couples would stay together. And Aubrey Plaza correctly is like, no, that's crazy. I will stay with my friend, and you stay with your brother. Now, then there is a weird part where instead of, she doesn't just say that though. Is the problem.
Trying to trick him?
Yeah, she's trying to like trick him and like flirt with him, and it's very, very awkward. But
and it's, again, for, they don't let jokes last, but this one they stay on for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, there's a mismatch between the jokes that they should not spend time on and the jokes that they should.
Yeah, it seems like, and I mentioned this while we were watching, like, it doesn't seem like they're crazy. It just seems like they're kind of bratty or whiny. And that's more Adam Devine than the other one, who's just having a good time with Anna Kendrick. They're just enjoying themselves.
Yes.
Yeah, Aubrey Plaza and the sister are the only two characters that make sense. There's some funny line delivery, but there's no consistency. Character resolution in this makes absolutely no sense. The movie had other great movies happening around it. They just completely missed.
Like what?
Like I said earlier, like the bride and the groom, their whole story, I think is a good movie. There's actually resolution to that problem compared to anything else that happens. I do think there's a movie of Anna Kendrick as just the main character.
Yeah.
That is a movie.
She is a main character. That's the thing, Matt, at this point in her career, and, you know, we're watching this 8 years later, but she just is a main character, and you can't really have her not be a main character anymore.
Yeah, and well, I mean, that's why I was so confused, because, like, Mike and Dave don't seem like the main characters halfway to this movie.
Yeah.
They just seem like other people.
The girls start to outshine them. Yeah, it's just, it's not consistent, and then there's basically no ending. The wedding happens. There's no, like, epilogue. We don't know how any of this transfers back to the real world after Hawaii.
They do a reception where they do something nice and then go out of control again and ruin it.
Yeah. Well, they don't ruin it, but they do
fireworks.
They do sing a song.
Well, they shoot fireworks. The fireworks go crazy.
The four of them perform a song and dance. And it's a song that's in pitch perfect. And then you have Adam Devine and Anna Kendrick singing it again.
That's so
and
weird.
then Zach Effron also can sing and dance. So he's doing that. And then Aubrey Plaza is kind of just like there. And then, yeah, there's fireworks and things go awry again. And that's like the end of the movie.
One fix I think you could do in this movie is I feel like either Aubrey Plaza and Adam Devine or Zach Efron and Anna Kendrick should have had sex midway through this movie. And there been like an awkward aftermath of it. So you can show some connection. Yeah.
I think, though, why that didn't happen is because you're right that it's not a rom-com. It's just a com with some elements of rom. But then, so they're like, well, we don't really need to have a lot of conflict with the relationships because the conflict is more about the wedding itself and like the situation happening there. So I guess that's why it didn't happen.
It just had no direction. It felt like it didn't know when the movie was supposed to be, so it tried to do it too much.
Yeah. The director of this film, it was his first feature film.
Was it his last?
No. But...
Did he make Dune? Was this Denis Villeneuve?
No, it is obviously not. Yeah, he's directed some other stuff, but nothing I've heard of. So,
all right. Well, do you want me to cast Wally in this movie?
Yeah, go ahead.
If I had to cast Wally in this movie, there's some roles I don't want to give him.
For sure. Yeah.
It's got to be very careful with the roles that you give Wally in this movie. I am going to give Wally Lavelle Crawford's role as the best man.
Unproblematic, and honestly, Lavelle Crawford's very funny. They don't give him a lot in this movie. Yeah, well, there's weirdly a ton of like cameos in this movie of people who are now more famous, but like Mark Maron shows up. Jake Johnson from New Girl is in this at the time when
I totally forgot Jake Johnson was in this.
Like Nicole Byer is in this, but she wasn't big at the time, or like she was getting big, but not Mark Maron yet, but who else? There's like just a bunch of random,
if I forgot Jake Johnson,
Wendy
Williams is in it.
Wendy Williams is in it. Yeah, exactly.
Were there any famous people that the other girls they talked to in this movie, or were they all just kind of character actors?
I think all just character actors.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I would cast him as the best man.
Okay, that works.
The dog is man's best friend.
Yes.
And the best man is my best friend.
And I'll cast Wally as one of the horses.
Okay. That gets freed.
Do you have a good, bad, and normal take for this movie?
I'm going to Adam Devine this. This is way off the cuff. I didn't think about this beforehand. This is a good take.
Okay.
Sam Richardson, in the few lines he has, you're like, this guy's great.
He is
like
really
you
great.
can just tell this guy is funny and like has it because he owns the very few points he has in the movie.
There are no small parts, only small actors.
And he's a big guy.
Yeah, he's a star. We love him.
This is a bad take. Adam Devine shouldn't even be in the movie. It should just
Okay.
It should just be someone different. My bad take is take him. My bad take is Adam Devine shouldn't be in any movies anymore. We watched that movie where he's a bank robber with the family. He was terrible in that.
What?
With Pierce Brosnan.
What are you talking about?
We watched that movie where he's dating the girl and her parents are like bank robbers.
Oh, yeah.
That movie was terrible. I didn't like him in Modern Family.
I liked him in Modern Family.
I am done with Adam Devine. I think he should retire.
Okay, well, again, that was a bad take. So
yeah, I know it's a bad take, but I'm allowed to say a crazy thing.
Okay.
And this is a normal take: is that I need Sugar Lynn Beard and more things that aren't Canadian.
I'm with you.
Not in the nothing world of Nobody Place, Canada. I need her in the great old USA.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm trying to see if she actually is in anything else that you would have seen. She's a radio host.
What? She's a radio host. Is crazy.
In Canada.
Yeah, I figured it's in Canada. She
also
Canada
does a lot of
lady.
voice acting.
Oh, that makes sense. She does have like a unique voice, so I could see that.
Yeah. So that's what you would mostly know her.
Her voice.
Yeah, you
just simply her voice is what I would know her.
Well,
from.
yeah, she's pretty. I mean, she is like primarily a voice actor.
Nice
for TV. So
okay.
Okay. Well, Joe. Mike and Dave need wedding dates. Good movie?
No. I'm just going to be honest. I'm not going to wait. This is not a good movie. I was mad multiple times in this movie to the point where I was like, why do I care about any of these characters? Mm-hmm. Also, these characters are more lame tools than they are like crazy fun guys. They're just like miserable people, and I hated everybody.
Well, it has a 38% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's good. I can't imagine the 38% people that said yes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Would you watch Madam Web or this movie again?
Hard to say.
And you picked this movie.
I know. Well, unfortunately, I've seen them both now very recently, so it's actually difficult for me to say which one I'll want to watch again first. What
if you had a dream every night of 4 people who are ruining a wedding? Would you kill them before they did it?
Then I would become a superhero and I would kill them.
Okay.
Well, okay. So we need to cleanse our palates here with a good movie.
We're not doing that.
No, what?
Okay. I mean, we'll cleanse our palate from a comedy.
Okay.
But because we had this movie, I'm taking a bit of a risk on my next movie choice that, I mean, it could be really hit or miss on how you feel about it. Because again, we're going to the well that is the 90s.
Okay.
And this is the most 90s superhero movie ever made. We're going to be watching The Crow. They're making a remake soon.
What is wild to me is I had no idea that this was a superhero movie.
Yeah, I mean, it is in a weird way.
In a 90s way?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll watch The Crow, and where are we going to watch that?
And also, Sting is retiring tonight, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, and Sting's whole thing is taken from The Crow.
Okay, sure. Great.
Which is, again, you'll see, even crazier when you watch this movie. Like, this movie's bonkers, but I love it, but we'll see if you love it too.
Where are we going to watch it?
That movie is on Prime Video for free.
On Prime Video for free. So everyone watch The Crow, and we'll be talking about that next week.
Yeah, maybe I'll be eating crow next week.
Okay. All right, well, this was another good movie podcast.
You get that and make clear the podcast. Make sure you say that.
Thanks everyone for listening. Thank you to our podcast editor and theme song creator, Kale Forbes, the theme song vocals from Austin Fry, and our logo from Carrie Pulley. If you would like to hear more from us, you can follow our Instagram at TIAGMpod, and our personal Instagram handles are there too. And if you want to send us an email, I don't know, suggest a movie or tell us that we're wrong,
we would love it. We'll read it on air.
We'll read it on air unless you request that we don't. Our email is at tiagmpodcast@gmail.com. As always, following, listening, subscribing, commenting, sharing, rating, reviewing is really, really helpful. The most helpful thing is subscribing, so please do that if you can. All right, I'm Katie Hetledge.
I'm Joe Bates.
We love you. Bye.
We love you. Bye. Mike and
Dave. This is a good movie podcast with Katie and Joe.